Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to be doing my current favorites and fails. I have a few fails and they are really bad fails. We just went through the Sephora sale. I tried a ton of new products and I did post, I believe 3 in a row trying new makeups that were a little bit rough. I'm still testing out some products, so some things you may not see in this favorites or in the fails section because I'm still trying to get my thoughts. But I do have quite a few products that I've just really been loving, and some of it isn't even from Sephora, some of it is. So I'm just gonna go through and talk about products that I've been loving and a couple that haven't worked for me. So I will link all the products that I talk about today down below in my description box, as well as the makeup that I'm wearing. If you're new here, I hope you subscribe, and if you enjoy these videos, please give this a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and begin. Let's start out with my favorite new release of this year so far. You guys are not going to be shocked to know that I am loving the Patrick Ta palette. So this is the new Major Dimension 2 Rose eyeshadow palette. It's his second palette in his line. I've been a huge fan of his products, his cream blushes, and his eyeshadow. So when I saw there was a rose version coming out, I was so excited. I did a first impression. Truly, it's one of the only products that's gotten me like super hyped recently. This is gorgeous. The mattes are incredibly pigmented. The shimmers are even better than the original palette. The original palette, they're a little bit hard pan, so you really gotta work into some of the shimmers. And this one, they're just much softer, and they give you that really glittery, like sophisticated glitter look. It's just gorgeous. And then you do have creams down here. Those are great for bases. I demoed it in my video if you're curious how to use it, but it's really just a nice way to lay down a cream and then put powder shadow on top to really adhere it and make it pop. This is just stunning. I know that it's expensive, but honestly, the formula, the colors, the packaging, like everything about this is perfection to me. Next, I have a product from Makeup by Mario that I've never heard anyone mention. I actually didn't think I was going to enjoy this because I thought it was a squeezy tube, but the applicator is actually super easy to use. So this is the Perfecting Lip Scrub. And this essentially has the packaging very much like a lip balm. I feel like the tip is almost like a silicone tip. So essentially you just squeeze it out on your lips, and then you can use the tip of it to just work it in and really get all that dead skin off. I really am not a fan of like sticking my finger into stuff, so I thought at first it was just like a squeezy tube where I was gonna have to use my fingers. I have really liked the Buxom lip scrub in a balm, and you really just kind of move it around. This is more intense, and I think the Buxom you kind of had to really like go in to get that exfoliation. This one has such a great formula with a lot of little like grainy beads in there, and then it does leave a really nice like moisturized finish afterwards, and you don't have to use your fingers, which is my preference. So I think that's why I really like it. But aside from that, it really does a good job at just like exfoliating everything off your lips, especially if you have dry lips, and leaving behind a little bit of like that moisturized feel. It doesn't have a scent to it. You could literally throw this in your bag, and again, you're not like digging your hands in and then your hands are all dirty. So I've really been enjoying this. I just have honestly forgotten to mention it. Now let's talk about a hair product that I've discovered and I have been loving so much. So I wanted to thank Glaze for sponsoring this portion of the video. You guys know that I really love hair glosses. Anything that'll make my hair super soft, shiny, and silky. I've really been into that, and this product is perfect. I have been loving the Glaze Conditioning Gloss. Now this is a semi-permanent color conditioning gloss that enhances your hair color, but also nourishes your hair and gives you that really high shine mirror-like finish, which I'm all about. This is available in 9 color matching shades from light blonde to black. They also do have the transparent available, which is the one that I've been loving. If you want the shine and the hint of color, just choose the shade that is closest to your hair color, or you can just go for the transparent and get that really glossy finish. So it's super easy to use. You can apply it to dry or damp hair. I just apply it to dry hair. If you're using a color, I would recommend using gloves so that you don't get any staining. But you just apply it generously, leave it on for 10 minutes, hop in the shower, wash your hair as usual. You don't need to condition your hair because this is super nourishing. It's enriched with babassu oil and it just softens your hair. It gives you that high shine and it's really like a deep condition with that glossy finish. Now the effects from using glaze once will last up to 10 washes, but you're also free to use it every single time you wash your hair. It really is just up to you. Glaze is 100% vegan, cruelty-free, and the packaging is 100% recyclable. It's packed with hair-loving ingredients and it's free from silicone, parabens, ammonia, and sulfates. Each bottle retails for $16 and you do get 2 to 3 applications per bottle. They also do offer a subscription. So if you sign up and subscribe monthly, you will get 10% off every purchase. They also offer a money back guarantee. So if the product doesn't work for you, they will refund you, which I thought was amazing. They also were kind enough to give me a code. I will put it on the screen and down below, and that will give you an additional 20% off your first subscription. So I highly recommend this. If you love really glossy, nourishing hair masks, and if you want a little bit of like a tint to your hair, of course, choose the color that works for you. I just love anything that gives me that shine, almost like I just came from the salon. So I will leave the link down below. Thank you so much to Glaze for partnering with me on this portion of the video, and let's get into what other products I've been loving. So now I want to jump into fragrance. I actually have 3. They're all different, but I feel like they're all great for this time of year. The first one, I was just doing my normal scrolling on Nordstrom. I like to scroll on really just like Nordstrom, Saks, I don't know, Sephora, Ulta, just looking for new products. This is the Vacation, the Sunscreen Company fragrance. This is truly like vacation in a bottle. It really does smell to me like sunscreen, coconut, a little bit of pineapple in there, sea salt, really like you've been at the beach. But something about it is very nostalgic. I almost feel like I get a hint of like Barbies in there from my childhood, which is strange. Some of the notes actually crack me up. So the top notes are petitgrain essence. I'm not really sure what that is, but coconut water, coconut milk. In the middle, you've got bergamot, solar musk, banana, pineapple. And on the bottom, you have pool water, swimsuit spandex, which I didn't even know that was ever a note, and sea salt. Something about this is just so nostalgic. It's just your childhood. It's literally like playing with Barbies, been to the beach. I smell the coconut, I smell the sea salt, I smell maybe a little bit of that banana and the pineapple. So if you like beachy scents, I think you would really love this. There's just something really comforting about this to me, and I'd never heard of it before. I don't even think it's really new. I just think recently it's become available on a couple retailers. So I will link this down below, but I really love this. This next fragrance I picked up during the Sephora sale. It is sold out, I feel like in every single size at Sephora, so I'm gonna link it somewhere else. This is such a fun, beautiful fragrance for the summertime. So this is the Valentino Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. Honestly, the packaging just pulled me in. Look how gorgeous this packaging is. Now, I actually blind bought this. The notes and just the reviews really made me want to try it. So it says it's a fruity floral and the key notes are kiwi, jasmine, and rose. This is such a fun, bright, bubbly scent for spring and summer. I definitely get the kiwi and maybe even the jasmine. I really don't get the rose. It's definitely sweet, but it's nothing like the gourmand sweets that I usually go for. And it just gives you that like fun, bright, kind of juicy, playful feel. I really like it. I'm not typically into florals, but I definitely like fruity. So I feel like there's just enough of that fruity element for me to really love this. I love this so much that I really want to get a bigger size just because this is a little bit more unique to my collection, but I feel like it's going to be just perfect for the summer months coming up. Now, the last fragrance I'm loving, it's really interesting because it reminds me of something I used to wear when I was younger. Cheryl actually influenced me to buy this, so I did get it during the sale. This is from Clean Reserve, and this is the Skin fragrance. So this is supposed to be a warm and sheer fragrance. It says it has creamy Madagascar vanilla, musk. It also has salted praline. Immediately when I smelled this, and you guys have to tell me if you've tried this, this is giving me Abercrombie 8 women's perfume. If you guys have ever tried that super musky, just honestly musk, 100% musk. I don't know, there's something different about this one, like very slightly, but on the skin, it's just yummy, sweet musk. I can see why they call it skin, because I feel like it will adjust to each person just because it's so heavy on the musk. This is very light. I don't know how to describe this, but it's very comforting and just very soft and sweet and just musky. If you like musk, you must buy this. This is something I would throw in my bag because it's not super heavy. You're gonna have to reapply it often, but it's just very musk, just beautiful, sweet. I don't know how to describe it. It's just very heavy on the musk. And if you've ever smelled or enjoyed Abercrombie 8, this is so similar, you would love it. I have a couple lip products I want to rave about. The first one I am wearing on top of other ones right now. I'm the queen of mixing a ton of different colors. I don't feel like anybody really raved about this, but for me, this color is such a great just like topper to lighten things. So this is from Tom Ford, and this was from the Extreme Badass collection. This is the lip color in Blush New. It's just a really, really light nude shade, and it's great for putting in the center of my lips when I feel like I just need something to lighten it a little bit. This formula has like a little bit of a shimmer in it, which is a little bit strange. It's not the most forgiving if you have dry lips. This is not a color I would slather all over my lips. It really is just a pat on the center of the mouth, and it really adjusts whatever color I'm wearing to get it a little bit lighter so that I have that contrast I like. So I know it's expensive, but it is one of my most reached for. Underneath the Tom Ford, I am wearing one of my new favorite lip products. This is the Armani Lip Maestro, and I've mentioned these in my recommendations and also a haul, but this shade in particular is just so beautiful. This is the shade Tan. It's from their new collection. They have a new collection of like, I think 7 shades, and they all have a little bit of kind of like a glitter or glimmer in there, but it's very slight. But I love the formula on these. Very, very moussey, very thin, hydrating, but they have that matte finish, like that soft matte whipped finish. They last longer than a bullet, but they're not like suction down, you know, drying your lips out. And I really love this shade. It has like a beautiful sheen to it, a little bit of a pinky undertone, but it's not like frosty or anything like that. The only thing is I'd like to go in store and actually see the colors. I don't think they have them in store. Actually, I know they don't. They don't have them in store at my local Sephora, and online I feel like the shades are off. So that's the only thing that I find a little confusing, but this shade is definitely my favorite, and I think I have 3 now that I purchased, and I keep reaching for this one. Another lip product from Armani. I'm actually surprised how much I love this. I do want to get more shades. Again, I really want to see them in person, so I might have to go to a different retailer than Sephora, but this is the Lip Power Lip Shines. I think that's what they're called. So I have this really beautiful peachy shade, and this is in 103. These are basically like a balm, but they have a tint to them. So they're not like the Mario lip serums or the Tarte Maracuja. They're not like super oily or high shine. They just give you that balmy, hydrated feel, but you can build up the pigment to be almost as opaque as a lipstick. They really just are comfortable on the lips, and because they have that balmy feel, they're not slipping and sliding. It's not something that's like bleeding outside of your lip lines. It has this nice like emollients to it where it really just kind of like coats your lips and it hangs on. But I really, really like this, so much so that I almost bought another shade during the sale, but I really wanted to wait until I could see them in person. So if you like something that's a little more balmy and comfortable, but it's not gonna wear off in like 20 minutes, I think this would be a great option for you. So I have a liquid blush that I've been playing around with for the past week or so, so it's fairly new to me, but I'm really loving it, and I wanted to mention it in case you wanted my thoughts. I'm definitely going to demo it in an upcoming video. Honestly, I've had these for a while and I have just been overloaded with products and I didn't get a chance to demo them. But these are the blushes from Mitchell's brand, Made by Mitchell. These are basically liquid blushes, and I think what's really drawing me in is the colors. So I used this color the other day and it honestly reminded me so much of the Dior blush that everybody loves. Maybe not quite as lilac toned, but this is what it looks like, and this is the color Sweet Cheeks. This went over powder beautifully. I even used a brush, which I really don't do, and then I used a sponge today, and I put on Posy Rosy, and this one's just like a little bit more pink coral, like a warm pink. So this is the one that I use today. They're not overly dewy, so they're not hard to work with. They almost have like that matte finish on the skin, and they're really just easy to blend in. I guess I'll just blend this into my hand, and you can build them up. So they're not like overly pigmented to where you're like, oh my gosh, like over the top. I also have this shade Peach Sugar, which I've used once before, and this one's pretty too. It's more of like a peachy tone. I feel like this would be a great formula for those of you that have combo oily skin, or if you can't stand any type of tack. This feels like a powder. There's no tack at all, and they're not overly pigmented. So I feel like they're pretty easy to use. I still would never swipe on my face. It's just not what I would do, but I just put it on my hand like this and just, you know, applied it to the skin. And I feel like it gave me a really pretty flush, and the colors are like so me. So this is a newer find, but I will demo them in an upcoming video, but I'm loving them so far. I have two new skincare favorites, which is pretty rare for me. I tend to stick to what I know. I am on a prescription skincare regimen, so I really don't like to throw in a ton of stuff that could irritate my skin. If I do try new stuff, typically it's like a moisturizer or a mask, something like that. The first one I got in PR and I tried it and I really love it. This is from Youth to the People, and this is the Super Berry Hydrate and Glow Dream Oil. This is great for nighttime for me. So it says you can just apply 2 to 5 drops onto your skin, or you can mix it in with your moisturizer. I mix it in with my La Roche-Posay Cicaplast, which I have gone crazy for. I don't know if I've ever used that much of a skincare product. I've shouted out the Cicaplast before. This is my latest victim. Honestly, I've gone through like 6 of them. Ian was just at Target and picked me up 2 more. This is just a phenomenal cream if you are on Tret, retinol, if you have dry, chapped skin, your moisture barrier is messed up. This is honestly a favorite as well. So I use this every single night over my Tret that I'm using from, you know, my dermatologist. But this I mix in. I am so dry on my forehead area. It's like no matter what I do, right up here, I'm just super dry. But this is great to mix in to my Cicaplast. So I'll just do like 2 or 3 drops and really just press it in, and I try to really focus on my forehead. It's not broken me out. It doesn't feel heavy and greasy. It's not like all over my pillow, and it's just very lightweight. Like you can see in the bottle, it's not like a thick like olive oil. It's a very lightweight oil, and it has a really light citrus scent, but it's very, very light, so it's not chock full of fragrance. And I do feel like it really gives me that hydration really on these areas where I tend to be dry. But for me, I'm always afraid of oils because I'm afraid they're gonna break me out, and this one hasn't, and I've been using it nightly for I would say like 3 weeks now. This next skincare product, I was so excited for so many reasons. I actually got the opportunity to try this a while back and test it out for a sponsorship. This video is not sponsored, but I did do a sponsored Instagram reel, which I had so much fun shooting. I did something different, and I used sunlight, and I just really love how it turned out. This I don't even believe is launching until Friday the 22nd. If it's available now, I will link it. If not, I'll leave the information. But this is the new Fenty Skin Mask. So this is called the Cookies and Clean, which how cute is that? Let me tell you my favorite thing about this. It is fragrance free, which I was thrilled. Like when they reached out to me and they wanted me to test it, I was reading through the information and it said fragrance free, and I was like, yes, like that's a huge thing for me, just because I'm not somebody that won't use fragrance products. But if a product is heavily fragranced to the point where it's like irritating me or stinging my skin, I'm just not really into like the chock full of fragrance products. But I love that some brands, or a lot of brands, including Fenty, they're offering fragrance-free options. So this has like charcoal beads in it. So when you apply it, you just apply it to like your wet skin or dry skin. You rub it in and it turns gray because of the charcoal, and it doesn't strip your skin. It's not harsh. It's not one of those that when I take it off, my skin is like bright red and irritated. I did also feel like this really did minimize my pores or the look of them. I know you can't get rid of your pores, but it really did just kind of get all the gunk out, smooth my skin out. It wasn't dry or flaky or stripped. I really think this is gonna be a hit. I think a lot of people are really gonna love this, especially if you like fragrance-free products like me. I have one last favorite to talk about, and then we'll get into the fails. So this is from a brand called Rose and Caramel. I've ordered their self-tanning stuff before, but this is the Purity Excel Tan Off 60-second tan remover. Here's the thing. I have tried the Bondi Sands Tan Remover, and that's the best I've tried thus far. It has like a lemon scent. It's in a pump, and sometimes it can feel like it strips your skin a little bit. Like it's almost like you're putting lemon juice on your body, and it kind of stings if you rub too hard. And this actually has like granules in it. Now, again, this does smell citrusy, so similar, but it's in almost like a body scrub type of texture. I don't necessarily agree with 60 seconds, but I would say maybe 3 minutes. So I just apply this on wet skin, and then when I get in the shower, I leave it on for 2 to 3 minutes, and then I get in the shower with a wet mitt, like a scrubbing mitt, and I just really work the tan off. Again, I don't agree with the 60-second and it just instantly washes off. You do still have to exfoliate and you really gotta scrub it off, but I do feel like leaving this on for 2 to 3 minutes and it does the job, and it doesn't seem to be as harsh on my skin as the Bondi Sands. And the Bondi Sands, I think you had to leave it on for like 5 to 10 minutes. So it's quicker, and just something about the formula, I don't get that stinging feel, and it seems to remove my tan easier. I really just don't want to be scrubbing my body and like irritating my skin. So I definitely utilize self-tan removers, and this is a new favorite for me. So let's get into my fails. I have a few here I want to mention. Honestly, there was more that I really haven't been loving, but I want to keep testing them, and also I might like update in a TikTok or a reel or something like worst makeup I've tried. So speaking of self-tanners, this is the new Loving Tan Platinum Self Tanner. So this released recently. This is supposed to be like the deepest tan they've ever done, and I have really liked Loving Tan, you know, ultra dark or dark. So I want to try this because it looked quite dark, and then the reviews at first were like all 5-star, and then there was like all 1-star, and then it was like a mixture. So it seems like people are either loving this or hating it. Here's the problem for me. The color is off. So they're saying it's a natural olive. It is 100% orange. Even when I applied this, Ian was like, you look orange. Like you look almost red into orange. So when I first applied it, it was red. And then the next morning when I woke up, it was orange. And if you saw my Sephora recommendations video, my hands looked horrible. Like orange, line of demarcation, just super, super blotchy, just not good. Like it didn't blend at all. To be honest, I feel like I'm pretty good with self-tanning my hands. For me, I just really did not like how just orange I looked. It really was just not the right tone for me. And I just don't really think that it wore well. I got really blotchy. And the hands issue, you know, I don't want to have like a line right there. The whole point is for it to look somewhat natural. To me, this did not. And I'm somebody who's self-tanned for years. It's just not something that I would recommend, especially for the price. This is very expensive, and I just don't have time to be worrying about if I'm gonna have like streaks or harsh lines on my body. My next fail is something that I actually was shocked by because I originally tried another shade of this product and enjoyed it. This is the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush in Parasol. Now, I don't know if it's just this shade, so I'm only gonna say this shade is a fail. This was one of the most difficult liquid or cream blushes I've ever used, and I've tried it a few times since. It's like a purple pink, I don't know, like orchid color, but I don't know if you can see, even just like blending it out there, it just looks not even. It's like sheer but choppy. And when I tried to apply this, even on an unset face or a set face with a sponge, with my fingers, whatever it would be, this was so incredibly patchy. It lifted, it grabbed, it stuck in certain places. I mean, it was really not flattering. I'm gonna put some more on just to show you the color. So this is what the color looks like, but blending it out, I don't know what happened there, but it's just like it grabs and then it's sheer, just super, super patchy. I couldn't make it work even on an unset face. Like to me, that was crazy. You know, most blushes or liquid cream blushes 100% should work on an unset face, and this did not even work on that. So for me, this was a hard pass. So because of that, I'm probably not gonna buy any more of these blushes and just stick with my Southbound shade. Finishing off with my last fail, this is one of the most disappointing products that I've tried this year and in a long time. I was excited for this product, and I don't even need to try it more to know that I would not recommend you spend your money on this. This is the Artist Couture Supreme Mauves eyeshadow palette. I was so excited for this. I feel like a lot of people were. The color story is beautiful. This palette is one of the worst quality eyeshadow palettes I've tried in a long time. The shimmers are not good. They are so hard to pick up, and even when you swatch them, you think like, oh, they're swatching okay. If you saw my video, they do not adhere to the eye and they're dull. This one is dry and chunky, almost like a pressed glitter hybrid, and they're just so hard to work with. This shade is incredibly dry. Like when I'm feeling it, it feels like sandpaper, and it swatches okay, but blended on the eye, I had just intense patching, grabbing, and then some of the mattes would blend away. I couldn't get it to stick. These shimmers just literally did not show up. They would not stick. Honestly, for this price point, I honestly am shocked that they put this out because the quality was that hard to work with. I mean, eyeshadows, sometimes, you know, you might have a little bit of blending issues, or you might, you know, have some fallout or, you know, something like that. But this was like super hard to work with to the point that it wasn't enjoyable. I just wanted to like wipe off my makeup and be done. And I feel like if you look at the reviews on Sephora, after I did my video, I was looking at the reviews. They're not good. I think it's like a 1.5, 2 star. I mean, that's pretty low, especially for an eyeshadow palette that I feel like, you know, should be, you know, relatively normal to formulate, because this brand has come out with beautiful eyeshadow palettes in the past. So for me, unfortunately, this is a pass, and I've heard from a lot of you guys that you had the same experience, which sucks. All right, guys, so that is everything for my current favorites and fails. I didn't have too many, you know, makeup products beyond blush and lip products. Lots of perfumes and, you know, skincare, hair care, just different stuff. I think during the sale, I found some new favorites, but I actually did encounter quite a few flops, unfortunately, and I'm still testing out a lot of products, so I will update as time goes on. So I will link all the products down below in my description box. Don't forget to check out Glaze. I will have them at the top of my description box with my discount. Do let me know down below what you've been loving and what maybe has been a flop for you as well. I'd love to have a conversation because I know a lot of us shopped the sale and found some new favorites and not so favorites. So let me know in the comments down below. If you're new here, I hope you subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.